Melissa. Welcome back to Black Coffee and Grits. It's almost December. Can you believe it? I cannot believe it. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We had such a great time. Got together with a small group of family over at my mom's house. She lives just around the corner, so no major travel involved. Had a lot of fun cooking. I made all my favorites. Hopefully everyone else got their favorites too for Thanksgiving. I love pumpkin pie. That's my absolute must have. And I'm still snacking on it. In fact, I wish I'd had a piece this morning. I failed on my pumpkin pie for breakfast this week. I don't know why. I guess I just forgot. I got coffee and moved on, but it'll be there for dessert later. So it is the end of November, and I'm sorry, I have a little tickle in my throat. It's like that time of the year when my nose has been a little bit runny and I'm just having those late fall allergies. So forgive me if I clear my throat. Let's see. November went by in a blink. Can you guys believe it's, like I said, it's almost December. It's the last day of the month. I'm sitting here looking at my book of days. I have very few stickers on my book of days, but lots of stitching time got put in and lots of traveling. So remember the last time I saw you, I was getting ready to go to Michigan for Halloween, which we did, and it was so much fun. We had a great time. We did trick-or-treating with cousins. It was fun to get to see the kids dress up. It was Michigan weather. It was perfect. It was cool, cool enough that you needed a jacket and layers, but it wasn't so cold. So no snow or anything like that. We just had a great time. We went to Michigan football game on Saturday and watched Oregon beat Michigan, but it was really fun. It was my first time to the big house. And oh man, I was gonna look up this brunch spot that we went to because it was amazing. I think I'm gonna pause the video and go look that up because it was delicious and I want to tell you about it. Oh my gosh, Bingo, don't get in that cord. Okay, totally we're stopping the video to go look up Zingerman's Roadhouse because it was amazing. I had, oh great, the dog is getting a dog toy that squeaks. I had they called it Grits and Bits waffles, I think. I'm pretty sure. So it was gluten-free waffles. It was amazing. It had bacon bits on top of it. So it was sweet and savory with the syrup and the bacon bits. Oh my gosh. Incredible. Uh-oh, I have to take that away from Bingo. Bingo, come here, Pop-Up. You go find something else to play with. Do you want to say hi on a video? Come here. You don't want to say hi? Come here. So, it was a super eventful month. In addition to all that traveling, I also went to Branson, Missouri. And I was about to say one more thing before I talk about Branson regarding Bingo. We had to take him and get neutered. It's about 1.5 years, so it was time. And so it's been he's not really trusting me all the time now. He's like, what are we doing? Where are we going? Don't touch me. But he's all better now. He's out of his cone, but he had to wear that, big giant cone of shame situation for 2 weeks. Bless his little heart. So, hold on, I'm all over the place. Back to Michigan for a second. The other thing that we did that was super fun was we went to the cider mill. That's a must. We always have to go there. And they had gluten-free donuts this time. And so Will and I were so excited. It was delicious. It was a quick weekend, but we had a lot of fun. And I did get a little bit of stitching in on the plane. So I'll show you what I stitched on. That was probably, I just finished one motif on this and then I put it away. Let's see if I can get it out without making a ton of noise. So this is, if you've been following along, you already know that I've been stitching on this. This is Halloween Quaker by Leela's Studio. And I was able to finish the outline of the witch. Doesn't she look good? I'm stitching this on Haunted by Seraphim. It's a 32 count linen, 2/2. Some of the called for and some of my, actually, I think all the neutrals are the called for, except for I did use crits instead of whatever that white was that was called for. And I substituted my pops of color for color and cotton. So if you're interested in those like color conversion things, I put them all over on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at Black Coffee and Grits as well. So I was excited to get in that last motif, and it was fun stitching that like right over the holiday weekend. I didn't stitch a lot over that weekend, but I did, like I said, stitch on the plane a bit. The table is full as usual. It's like packed to the gills. So that was the weekend, the first weekend of November. We flew out on Halloween, and then we came back on Sunday. We ended up getting delayed at the airport a bit. So we got home late Sunday night. And then the following weekend, I went to Branson. The coffee pot's chirping. My son is awake. Hi, Willie T.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Trying to be quiet for your video.
That's thoughtful. Thank you.
No problem.
You can come down if you need to.
No.
So we are in full on like holiday schedule. There's like a lot of staying up late going on around here and a lot of sleeping in, which has been nice. My husband and I went to see Moana 2 last night. So I have been, ever since the time changed, I have been going to bed super early, like getting dark at 5 o'clock. It throws me into like being ready for bed at like 8:39. I know that sounds so crazy early, but I'll be up there like, you know, taking a bath, get ready for bed, cozied up. I will watch some TV or listen to an audiobook or something before I go to bed, but I've been going to bed super early. But last night we went to the 8 o'clock movie showing, so I didn't get to bed until it was midnight. It was after midnight because I also wanted to do a start. We'll get to that in a minute. Let me get back to Branson. So I had been planning a getaway with my girlfriends, Krista, the Wildflower Stitcher, and Brooke, Stitch by the Brook. They both have Flosstubes and Instagrams, so you should check them out if you haven't already. Super fun girls. They both live up in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area. So I drove up on, was it Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday. And we had rented a VRBO for the weekend. So we had the VRBO for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we had the best time. Another great lunch location that we went to, talking all about food. You can see where my heart is. We went to a place called, I gotta look it up, Local Flavor, and it was delicious. And they also had gluten-free fried chicken, and it was amazing. Like, you would never have guessed that it was gluten-free at all. So we planned to have like a sewing and cross-stitching weekend. So we all brought our sewing machines. We set them all up at the table, around the table in the dining area of this VRBO. We had a great time. We went to Cecilia's and shopped, and I'll show you a haul from that in a little bit. We dipped in and bought some patterns. We started a couple stitch-alongs, and we went shopping at a quilt shop called, did I write it down? Quilts and Quilts. And it was a huge store. It had tons of stuff. Bought some fabric, didn't go too crazy. We all made project bags over the weekend. It was just such a fun time. So I have lots to show you. I was sitting here thinking, what else? What else happened this month? I mean, obviously, I told you a little bit about Thanksgiving. That was this week. And here we are. It's time to decorate for Christmas. And I think I'm going to put up a real tree this year. I think I've talked my husband into it. He's golfing today, so we'll see if I can sweet talk him into taking me down to pick out a real Christmas tree. That's really what I want to do. Haven't done that in a while because a lot of times for Christmas we end up traveling, and so I just don't feel comfortable like leaving a real tree. it's just something else for someone to have to take care of while we're gone. So this year, I think we're just going to stay home. So I think we'll get a real treat and enjoy it. And I'm excited to do that. So, oh my goodness. Like I said, the table is full. Buckle up. I did do a little bit of finishing this month. I did a lot of stitching. I did a lot of new starts. And I think I'm just going to, let's see. I thought I had this in some sort of order, but you know how that happens. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's in order whatsoever. You guys don't care. So one of the things I started with Krista and Brooke when we went up to Branson, when we went into Cecilia's, was a pattern that we all saw and fell in love with. So we all kitted this up. It is, you've probably seen a lot of people already stitching it as well. Peace and Goodwill. Let me take this out of the plastic. By Brenda Gervais, or her, it's under her label, With by Needle and Thread. Sorry, I should have had this out already. Sometimes the plastic just really causes a glare and it's hard to see the pattern. So here's the pattern. It's a small Quaker, super cute. We kitted it up and split all the flosses. So we're using all the called for flosses. Got them all put on floss chops. Aren't you proud of us? And I'm stitching mine. Ooh, and I should have looked this up too. Hopefully I have this right. If not, I'll pop a correction down in the bottom. But I picked up a piece of 32 count. I believe this is, it's either antique lace or old lace by Seraphim. Linen. And it's a really pretty dye. Look how pretty the variegation is on it. Overdyed fabric. Bingo, you're not licking, are you? I gotta check on the dog, sorry. You know how it is when you finally let them out of the cone? I don't want him to get that little thing infected. So I started with the cherry cobbler color, got in a few stitches over the weekends while we were in Branson, and I've stitched on it just one other day besides that, but super fun. It's gonna be a super fun stitch. I love the cardinal, and I've seen some people have already finished it. Okay, so while I'm at it, I'll show you one of the project bags that we made. This is the very first project bag that I ever made. Are you guys so proud of me? I'm so proud of myself. So I used the Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch tutorial. So I made the bag her way. So I used fusible fleece and then like a contrasting fabric on the inside of the bag, which was these snowflakes. Isn't that cute? Turned out great. I think we all three made one similar to this. Really pretty fabric. So that was, I think, Saturday of our trip, our adventure, when we made project bags. I'm debating telling you another part of the story for the weekend. I'll just tell it. It was unfortunate, but on Friday morning when we got up to leave from Brooke's house, I had stayed the night with her the night before just so we could get up and leave earlier, because I'm about 4.5 hours from Tulsa, and then it's another 4-hour drive up to Branson. So we just thought, you know, rather than like me getting up super early and trying to drive and making it like a really long day, I'd just come up on that Thursday night. So I got up there Thursday evening. We went out for dinner, and her son lives with her, and he has a big German Shepherd dog, and we failed at introducing me to Maya. And so on Friday morning when I got up, I didn't realize Maya had been outside and she was coming back upstairs, and she met me at the top of the stairs, and she was surprised to see a stranger in her house. And we had a small encounter. Unfortunately, she bit me, and she was not happy to see me. So that was part of our weekend that I wish we could have erased, because that was the only really bad part about it. But it turned out fine. I mean, it hurt like heck, and it was bleeding, and I was freaking out a little bit, and Brooke was freaking out, of course. Her son was freaking out, and they felt terrible. But we got it cleaned up and wrapped, and so I was kind of like this all weekend. For the most part, it's funny. Krista and Brooke took care of me. They nursed me and helped change my bandage and put Neosporin on me and just doctored me so that we were able to get through it without going to the emergency. So, but I still have it's still a little bit sore in that one spot where I got the puncture. It was bruised and I was a big old baby. So the girls had to help me all weekend with like, can you help me cut my fabric? Because I couldn't press down really hard, you know, to get the rotary cutter going. But they were sweet and took care of me. Okay, what else? The other thing that we got into at Cecilia's, we didn't all buy this, but Krista and I bought this. My first Prairie Schooler Santa. This is the 2024 Santa, and we kitted it up together. I decided to do mine with the pearl cottons. So I kitted mine up with pearl cottons, and this is my first time to stitch with pearl cottons. And I got started on this and made pretty decent progress. I'm stitching mine on 10 count vintage Country Mocha tula. And I got the idea for this when I was up at Shepherd's Bush back in January of last year. They had a bunch of these stitched on the 10 count, made into pillows, and they were so stinking cute. So I decided to stitch mine on 10 count with the pearls. And Krista's stitching hers smaller though. She likes to stitch tiny. So got to start on that. All the called for colors, did I say that? Am I failing at being a good Flosstuber? I don't know. I think I did say that. I picked up fabric while we were at Quilts and Quilts, and when I got back home, I made a second bag. Oh my goodness. Also did a cute contrasting fabric on the inside as well as on the top. It turned out really cute. This might have been the third bag I made. I made 3. Anyway, doesn't matter. But the fabric on the inside is really cute because it's like lyrics to Christmas song. So that's what is housing my Prairie Schooler Santa. Can you guys believe I made so many project bags? What else happened on the weekend, the Branson weekend? I'll just go ahead and show this. Everything's kind of out of order. This is the third bag I made. This was some fabric that I picked up at Boxcar Quilts up in Arbor. And I had been wanting to make this bag, and I'll confess, because this was the second bag I made. I kind of messed up. I kind of messed up the lining on it. And so I just cut it out. So this bag is not lined. No one really had to know that, but if I'm gonna be honest, you know, sometimes you don't always get it right. I was probably not following the tutorial. Perhaps. What happened was I sewed the lining inside out. But it turned out cute, and I'm still gonna use it. What else? What else? The other thing I took to Branson to stitch on, oh, this would be a start and a finish. And I don't think I have the pattern out anymore, so I'll pop in a picture of the pattern. This is Autumn by Emily Call, and both Brooke and I decided to stitch this. She did hers on a beautiful teal fabric. I decided to do mine on, this is a piece of mushroom Lugana. No, what did I stitch this on? I'm gonna confess that I don't think I wrote this down. I have cards for some of the things that I stitched, but I don't think I wrote it down. It's a piece of Lugana. It might be a color and cotton piece. At any rate, it's 32 count, and I used the call for floss, except for I didn't have old brick, so I substituted Nutcracker by Color and Cotton for the old brick, but the rest are the called for colors. And I finished it into this cute little pillow with some plaid fabric that I had picked up at Joann's or Hobby Lobby. I can't remember. I didn't finish the back all the way, so you can't see the back yet, but turned out super cute. That was a big part of stitching this month. What else? I stitched on it's a good thing I can edit my videos. The dogs wanted something to eat. Imagine that. Okay, I was trying to look and see if I started anything else. Rogue started anything else while we were up in Branson, but I think that was it. Another thing I started, and I ended up doing this also on 10 count tula, vintage Country Mocha is the colorway, is this Bent Creek Uber Turkey. Remember this was on in my fall parade, kitted projects parade. Uber Turkey by Bent Creek. And I have been wanting to stitch this for a while, and I was on the fence about fabric because I wanted it to be big like I had seen it at Silver Needle up in Tulsa. So I actually did make a trip to Silver Needle the night I came in on Thursday night as well. We'll see if I can't remember what I think I was really good in there, and I only bought floss for a project. Oh yeah, I do know what I bought. Okay, so I stitched and stitched and stitched on this, and I decided instead of doing the pearl cottons on this, I already had kitted it up with the DMCs, so I'm stitching it with 6 strands of DMC. And I like it. I like the texture of it. It's a little smoother. It's funny, I've been stitching on this 10 count so much that whenever I started stitching on 32 count, it seemed tiny. So I thought I would finish this, and I am really close. I probably just have a couple more days on it. But we had so much going on this month with the holiday this week. We ended up going to, my husband and I had like a day date where we went out and we had lunch, and we went to the Trinity and walked on the trails. I forgot to tell you guys, it's finally fall weather here in Texas. It's really nice. It's been cold. Like last night it was like down in the 30s. So we kind of skipped our fall and went to winter, but that's usually what happens. Weather-wise, I know, you guys are saying, what? That's not that cold. But it is to us. One day it was 80 and the next day it was like high in the 50s. Woo, that's a big change. Okay. Showed you that Uber Turkey. I feel like I'm all over the place. Hopefully there's some semblance to this video. The other thing I told you I was going to continue stitching on, and I did, was Autumn Traditions Sampler by Tiny Modernist. This is the one that I think I ended up taking this with me to Branson, and I put like 3 stitches in on it, but because, you know, we got sidetracked shopping and doing other things, but that's okay. I'm stitching this on a piece of 32 count Michelle by Grace Notes fabrics with all the called for DMCs, and my goal was to get another quarter of the piece finished, which I did. So I stitched from the moon over to the pretty yellow house, and I had so much fun stitching on that roof. Let me see if I can get close to that so you can see that too. It is turning out really fun. I really like the fabric it's stitched on. It's really bright, fun colors. So I'll put that one away and I'll finish it next year. But speaking of this, I'm just doing my video however I want to do it today. I guess we're not going to have like true haul section, but that's okay. While we were in Branson, Krista and I She is also stitching that. She brought with her the summer chart, summer tradition sampler, and I thought it was so stinking cute. And while we were in Cecilia's, guess what else happened? Yes, indeed, we both bought the winter one. So we're going to be stitching the winter one, and we're going to start it on December 21st. Is that right? Let me double check my calendar. We're going to start it on December 21st, a stitch along, which is the first day of winter. Let me show you the chart. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. Winter Tradition Sampler. How cute is this one? I mean, I just love them all. It's like a little village scene, and I love it. So I decided to pull out of stash my piece of Ale by Picture This Plus. This is 32 count. And then I kitted it up with all the called for flosses, all the DMCs, but I did sub out grits for the white. I did the same thing on the autumn one. So instead of using Blanc, which is what was called for, I'm using grits. So if you want to stitch along with us, we're going to be starting that on the first day of winter, December 21st, and we'll use the hashtag Winter Tradition Sampler Sal. So join us, it'll be fun. And that's when we can stitch on through the winter, and it's also Christmassy. So, okay. What's next? Oh, another new start I had. I had a lot of starts. I ended up starting 6 things in November. What? Yes, I did. This was a planned start though. Away We Ride by Blackbird. I was planning, this was one I showed in my fall kit parades as well. So I was planning this. I had this kitted up for a while. Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. I started it with my friend Tracy from OG Stitchery and some other friends of hers on the 15th of November. And I just stitched on this one day. I'll be honest with you. By the time I got to this, I had already started some Christmas stuff, and so I wasn't really feeling the fall vibes as much. So I got, sorry, I have a thread in here. I got just part of the border done there. And I'm stitching this on 32 count Dove by Color and Cotton. It is a linen fabric, and I think I really like the fabric, and I love the colors, and I love the border and everything. It's just, I think by the time I finally started it, I can't believe I'm saying it, but maybe I was just more into my turkey. I thought I was going to finish that turkey, but I was also stitching on that Santa a lot, so I didn't get too far on that. Oh, I'm stitching that with all the called for Gentle Arts flosses. I think they're all Gentle Arts. Yeah, some of the tags are a little different. They changed up their tags, but really pretty floss. So I'll get back to that next year. In my OG Stitchery bag. Thank you, Tracy. Oh my gosh, an avalanche has occurred. You shouldn't stack up too much cross stitch or it will start to tumble. Okay. Did I show you all my whips? I'm sorry, I did not show things in a normal order today whatsoever. You guys can toss me out if you want. Maybe you enjoyed it. Maybe it was a hot mess. I don't know. What else did I do this month? I have this really new cool printout that I should be using. But instead, I keep looking back at my book of days like a crazy lunatic trying to follow my plans. My plans were cray-cray. Okay. Did I show you all my whips? I showed you all my whips but one. So I had one more new start, which I started yesterday. at the last hour because I had been really wanting to stitch this. If you'll remember, last month I think I showed this last month and talked about it. So when I was at Silver Needle, this is what I went in there for. I'm sorry, I'll pop in a picture of the chart. Actually, I'll show you the finished piece that I saw at Silver Needle. I went in there specifically to look at it because this chart calls for a lot of, it's mill, so it has a lot of beads, and also it had, I can't remember what they called them. Like, they're not buttons, but they're, I'll grab the chart so I can tell you. Treasures. They call them treasures. And I wasn't sure what those looked like, and I wanted to see it in person. Here's the cover sheet. I've already shown you the picture from Silver Needle, but I wanted to see it up close and see what all those little treasures looked like. So they're basically kind of like buttons, but some of them are kind of more bead, like what they're made out of is more like a bead material. Does that make sense? So I looked at them and I had kitted it all up through 1, 2, 3 Stitch, and I knew it was going to be about $90 more to buy all of those treasures and the beads. And so I was just really on the fence about it. So I do love the beads very much. Like, I feel like, especially with the Native Americans, that was like one of my favorite parts about this piece is the Native Americans. And so that's why I started this yesterday. Yesterday was Native American Heritage Day. So the day after Thanksgiving is now, I guess, a new holiday. So I started this then. I love it. I love the saying. I love everything about it. Like I said, I love the beads, particularly on the Native Americans, because I just feel like it feels like it's supposed to have beads. Like, I just expect my Native Americans to have beads. So like on their headdress and the feathers, and then it's also on the corn that they're holding. I wasn't totally wild about the treasures. They're okay. Like, they're leaves and beads and little hearts, and what else? There's a pumpkin. But I'm on the fence about those. So what I decided to do is I decided to order the beads for now, and then I will decide about the treasures at the end, because they go on at the end anyways. So I decided to stitch this. I have a huge piece of fabric and I haven't cut it yet, so forgive me. This is enormous and it's still in the hoop. I decided to stitch this on raw linen is what this is. So I got the smallest start on the border, but it still counts, right? It still counts as a start. And as I said, I kitted it up with all of the called for DMCs. There were a lot of them. That's what I was a good girl about at Silver Needle, and just got what I needed floss wise. And I did make some fun floss drops for these. I made turkeys, a couple different turkeys that I put on the floss drops. If you're interested in making your own floss drops, I just printed these out from my printer on cardstock. I used Canva, took the image, and then I like sized it how I wanted it and put 6 of them per sheet of paper, printed them out, cut them, and then I just used hole punch to punch for the floss and to run the ring through. So I believe this also calls for Blanc or some DMC white, and I'll probably substitute grits, but I haven't gotten that far yet. So that's probably the only change I'm going to make. And like I said, I did get started on that yesterday. So now I've shown you all my whips and new starts, and holy cow, there were a lot of them. And what else did I do? Did I have any finishes? Yes, I showed you one of them. I showed you my autumn pillow from Emily Call. I also FFO'd Pumpkin Row by October House, which I stitched this with my friend Michelle, making it with Michelle on YouTube. And I stitched mine on, this was a solo die from Color and Cotton. It's an Ada, 18 count Ada. And I used some fabric that I had from leftover from my project bag with little pumpkins on it. It turned out really cute. I did put a piece of felt on it, but I need to add a little button or some kind of charm or something. It'll get there. I don't always have all the things when I'm FFOing. Do you feel like that too, and then you have to go shopping? This is another one that I ended up FFOing. It is Halloween by Emily Cole. And I found this cute little polka dot fabric. So it's similar to her finish. I got this polka dot fabric at Hobby Lobby. And I do want to put a piece of raffia trim here like she did. So I need to finish that. And then also hide my Frankenstein stitches on the back. 2 more FFOs. Forgot to bring them over here. Hold, please. Okay, 2 more FFOs, which I was so happy to get done. One is Let Us Be Thankful by Bent Creek, and I have stitched a whole bunch of these, like basically one for every season. I have a Christmas one, an Easter one. I have a 4th of July one, so there's like literally one for every season. I got this cute little box from Michael's when it was on sale for like dirt cheap, and just some plaid fabric that I used from Joann's or Hobby Lobby. I can't remember. Got it a long time ago, but it turned out really cute. I was super happy with it. I did a color conversion from Color and Cotton floss on this. I'm not sure if I have those written down. That might have been pre-Flosstube days. But if I do have them and I knew them, I probably would have put it up on Instagram. I need to take pictures of these and put them on Instagram too. Oh my word, this is why I didn't bring these over here. There's just so much stuff. So many pretty things. On my table here. The other one, I'm so proud of myself. I finished stitching this last year, but I didn't get it FFO'd. It is Primrose Cottage Stitches Autumn Rules. And I ended up FFOing this in a Goodwill frame. I got this for $4.49 at Goodwill. And I have my hive rolls in it as well. So it was like the perfect size. Put it in there with washers and magnets so that I can swap them out. I'm hitting my little tassels on my chandelier with it. I added a bow and a cute little acorn that I found at Michael's on super sale. And I used a little check orange and white fabric that I got from Primrose Cottage in a little fabric bundle from them back at Stitch West. That was super fun. So very proud of this. And these have been on display and I've enjoyed them, but now it's time to take them down and put up Christmassy things. Okay. What else did I do this month? I did some sewing. I washed my quilt. I washed it and it turned out so great, you guys. So it's got that fun crinkle and it's been on the couch and everybody's been using it. Bingo and Tyler's been sleeping with it like every night. I showed you the 3 project bags I made. I also, while we were at, hi Bingo. Can you come up here? Did you hear me talking about your blanket? Come here, pup. I got him. I wanted you guys to see Bingo. Oh, he's such a good boy. While we were in Branson, I also worked on my Farmhouse Flannels 2 quilt from Moda. And I was, like I said, kind of gimpy that weekend, so I didn't I was not feeling my best. So I didn't quite finish this as far as piecing the top, but I did sew together. Basically, I just did the layer cake squares. And I got all the rows and I got it all put together as far as piecing each row, but now I need to sew those together. And part of the reason why I didn't is because I didn't bring pins, and this layer cake, the pre-cuts were not real square, I'll be honest with you. But I was just trying to keep it super simple, and so I didn't try and like fix them, cut them. So I just need to pin this and try to kind of fudge it together, if that makes any sense. So I still need to work on this, and probably really I could finish that today if I wanted to. The top. Was sitting there thinking, what else? I think I did some cutting. I'll put in a picture of this. Because I haven't sewn anything together yet. So I did some cutting on my Hey Boo quilt, but I didn't get to piecing any of it, just cutting it out. So trying to figure out the layout on that. Because Bingo is wearing that giant donut for like a week, it's like he's forgotten that he can go out the dog door again because he put that big thing around his neck. Poor thing. He's on the mend though. Okay, so what was I telling you about? Oh, Hey Boo. So I did some cutting on that. I don't have one of those like awesome felt like project layout walls, but I went to Hobby Lobby and I just picked up like a cheap vinyl tablecloth that has the felt back. So I need to tack that up and work on my layout. I think I've gotten to haul is where I am. I showed you my FFOs. I showed you all my whips and all of my starts. I've shown you some of the haul kind of mixed in, but I think we've reached the portion of the program where we're to haul and or gifts, because I got some really nice things from my friend Brooke. She spoils me. Okay, so she bought Krista and I these adorable giant project bags from Tula Pink, and they're vinyl, as you can see. Has this cute sewing machine on it. Super fun. And it's perfect for putting a, like, you know, a layer cake in, and or I had this in there, the whole quilt that I had planned out. So kept it from getting, you know, messed up. It's perfect. She also bought us some adorable, I don't know if I have all of them in front of me, but she bought us, if you guys saw my table, you would just laugh at me. Okay, here it is. I knew it was around here somewhere. And I can't remember the place that she got these, but these were a little cute gifts she got us. A needle minder, it says Stitching Queen, and a bag charm. I need to put this on my, I may put this on my Tula Pink bag. And it also came with this little picker. I never frog, so I didn't need to get mine out. Just kidding. So it is a needle with a cute little bling on it that matches. But this is so that you don't mess up your needle that you're stitching with, so it's great for frogging. I was totally kidding about that. You guys know that I make mistakes too. Now, whether or not I said to pick them out is a whole different thing. Fudge it if I can. Oh my gosh. Stuff everywhere. Okay, so Stitchy Kindness, also my friend Brooke, she was giving me a tour of her sewing room, which is amazing. She has this big giant long arm and everything. Oh my gosh, she has so much stash. But she was like, I was like, oh, that's cute. That's cute. She's like, take this. So funny. She gave me, what are these called? A Jolly Bar. So it's the special Fat Quarter Shop cut Jolly Bar. This is Sun Washed by Corey Yoder, and you guys know how much I love Corey Yoder. And she gave me this pattern to go with it. So it's alfresco quilt. And I'll probably save this for spring just because they're pretty springy colors, springy summery colors. She also gave me 2.5 strip flat from Clothworks. It is a Valentine bundle, XOXO. And with that, this adorable pattern called Heartstrings from Fat Quarter Shop. So very Valentine's themed, and I think I'll make that this Valentine's coming up. So sweet of her. That was before the dog bit me, so she was not just feeling sorry for me. Oh gosh. Okay. I have haul to show from a couple places, but something special that I got from the Nap Time Stitcher on Etsy. Let me find my notes. It is a cross-stitch planner and some other printables. I'll show you in just a minute. So let me take off my sticky notes, my notes. So I have been using the Book of Days for my calendar, but I decided to try Katie's cross-stitch planner, mainly because I just want to add more pages. Right now I have my Book of Days, and then also in addition to that I have a notebook that has like my whips, and I just feel like I'd like to combine them. So the great thing about Katie's planner is you can print it out. It's a PDF download. I ended up printing mine, these are my cover pages, on cardstock. I'll probably print the whole thing on cardstock, but I went ahead and printed out some of the pages just on regular paper to see what they look like. I'm watching Bingo because he keeps going past my ring light, and I see the cord wiggling, and it's like terrifying me that the whole thing is going to turn over. He just wants to hang out today. I should have put his dog bed right under my feet. Okay, so back to this cute planner. So I want to add my own things to this, and I'm not sure how I'm going to bind it yet, but I'm in my mind, I'm kind of toying with the idea of I was toying with the idea of sewing it. What do you guys think about that? So there's 2 different cover pages. I think there's actually more. There's a lot of different designs, but these were the ones that I ended up printing out and was debating between the vintage sewing notions or the more like embroidery / cross stitch kind of notions. They're both super cute, right? Probably cannot go wrong. So this calendar it's a $12 planner. You can download it from Etsy, and then you can print it out yourself and you can bind it however you want. The other idea I had for binding it was maybe just putting it in a 3-ring binder, or you could spiral bind it. I feel like if you put it in a 3-ring binder, then obviously you have the most flexibility for making changes to it or adding to it. So there is an at a glance calendar page with the full year. And then I really liked this. She has, I was planning to put these side by side so that when you opened it up, you know, that these are together. But it's a full month of notes. So you could make plans for starts, is what I was thinking. And then she has, each month has a page with goals to-dos, finishes, new starts, and notes, which I really like. And especially if you're doing a Flosstube, it would be helpful. You guys hear me all the time saying, like, I'm a mess and I need to look at my notes. She has a cross-stitch tracker for each month where you can check off if you stitched each day of the month and on what projects you stitched on. So there's a column here for projects, which is kind of interesting because then you can kind of track like how many days you're spending on each project. And then there is, I have to think about what, wait, I'm holding these up, sorry. The main month bifold. So this would be like what your book of days is going to have. And then a little bit of note space, but it's not a lot of note space on the book of days. And then she has like note pages that are just blank, which I was thinking would be good for projects, like putting like what I'm stitching each thing on instead of making these cards, because that's another thing. It's like I have 3 different systems going. You know, I've got my note cards, I've got my notebook, and I've got my calendar. So hoping to just kind of combine all of that. So then it's a repeat of each month, and they're super cute. The one I picked out, I think, was the vintage. So each month has a little bit different theme. The bees, and there are other options as well on her website. And so before I get too far into this, she gave us a special code for my viewers. If you want to go over to her Etsy shop, I'm going to put it in the comments as well as right here, like below here, so that you're not just having to listen to me say what it is and hope that I'm enunciating enough for you to understand. But she is the Nap Time Stitcher on Etsy. And I'll put the link, like I said, below, as well as she's given us a 15% off discount code. So you'll use the code Coffee Grits. And in addition, I want to show you some other printables that she had. So that was the calendar. And did I tell you that it's just $12? That's really reasonable. And in addition to that, she had something else that I thought was super handy. And there's more than what I printed out, but she had a stitch along tracker. And that includes all the project details as well as like your start dates and your finish dates, and maybe if you have different parts to the stitch along that you're working on. So there's 2 different pages that go with that. And then another thing that she had that I thought was super great was so the stitch along pages were $3. Should have told you that. Then she has this awesome retreat pack, which is $5. And that doesn't reflect the 15% discount. So you'll get 15% off of that if you're interested in these things. And you can use them over and over and over again. So for the retreats, this like retreat pack bundle, there is a page that says upcoming retreats, and it has all of the details about the retreat, like the dates, who it's hosted by, what the cost was, if you're driving or flying or how you're getting there, which I thought was super helpful, as well as like what activities there were, if there's a smalls exchange or games, like basically when you're preparing to go to the retreat, like what do I need to plan ahead for? You know, table make gifts, how many of those do I need? What I need to bring for lunch, is any food included? At the retreat, there's a packing checklist for your personal items and your stitching items, as well as a flight planner and a road trip planner. So depending on how you're planning to get there, you can plan for that. And she's thought of everything, like arrival time, departure time, how many days it takes to get there, how many miles you're planning, where you're planning to stop along the way if you're doing a road trip. Then another thing that's super cute is a page for your stitching friends, which I love that. And I've never gotten one of those little books where you can collect all your friends' information while you're at retreats. A lot of people have those, but this, you could just, it would all be bundled together. I'm thinking about bundling it all in my planner. And then there's a retreat budget planning page. Sorry, did I make that face out loud? A retreat wish list if you've got things you want to shop for, and then notes. So like a blank page for notes, as well as the last thing I want to show you from Katie is what I was trying to use today to keep myself organized, which it has been helpful because I've been able to glance at this instead of going back and forth to my book of days. So she has a Flosstube video planner. So she's got what episode number it is. I don't actually tell you guys that each time I do it, but it's helpful whenever I go to upload it because I do number it that way. Then it can just make notes about your agenda, your FFOs and your finishes, your whips and starts, haul, plans, sals, other mentions and likes, and notes. So she's included all of it. And this, oh my goodness, I didn't write down how much this was, but I think this was also $3. Plus you'll get 15% off if you go to her website and use Coffee Grits as the discount code. Okay, love that. So that's part of my haul. And stay tuned for how I end up putting it all together. Also, I was on Etsy and picked up another Emily Call pattern. This is Joy to the World. It's a cute little nativity scene that I'm planning to stitch probably in December, as well as I have another Emily Call pattern here somewhere. Where did I put it? Oh, I started putting together some patterns that I wanted to stitch for the Christmas season. This is the other one, Be Merry by Emily Call. And I think I'm going to kit mine up and stitch it like just like that. I really love it. I love her finishing details. And as far as my Joy to the World, I think I'm gonna stitch it on dark fabric, but I don't think I'm gonna stitch it on black. I love the teal frame that's on this, and I think I might stitch mine on teal fabric. We'll kit that up later and decide. I have a whole, I should maybe do it. Maybe I'll do a kit parade video after I get this all put together. I started pulling out fabrics for things I wanted to stitch, things I wanted to stitch on. Other parts of my haul are, I picked up some fabric from Cecilia's samplers while I was there. Now, you know I started stitching on some of that already, but I also picked up a piece of, I should open this. I don't like to look at fabric through the bag if I can show you. This is 32 count old stationery from Seraphim. It's a really pretty neutral. And I like the hand of this linen. It's really soft. And then I also picked up a piece of, we went to Cecilia's twice. So a good time was had at Cecilia's samplers. That's in Branson. 32 count Salt Bush by Fox and Rabbit. Isn't that pretty? It's a really good neutral too. I just love buying fabric when I'm in person. So couldn't pass those up. I love how they do bags for these, really nicely labeled. And something about Cecilia's is that they'll cut your fabric to the inch. So you don't just have to buy fat quarters, fat eighths, fat halves, etc. if you've got a project that you're kitting up, like they cut my fabric for my Santa exactly the size I wanted it and serged it right there on the spot, which was awesome. Okay, I think I showed you most of the other haul that I got there because it was stuff I was already stitching. When we went to the quilt shop, the other thing I picked up besides the fabric that I made my project bags for were these awesome zippers from Lori Holt. Love these bright colored zippers, they're called. I said Lori Holt. Are these Lori Holt? Yeah, they are, by Lori Holt, to be in my bonnet. It also says Riley Blake Designs on the back, so that threw me for a little bit of a loop. Okay, so picked up those zippers, which are perfect for project bags, and I was really enjoying putting like the contrasting fun colored zippers on my bags. I also made a couple trips to Hobby Lobby I looked for that other pumpkin for my witch, my whimsy witch, and that other pumpkin is smaller, or it's oriented more horizontal, so it wouldn't work. So I'm still on the hunt for a finishing piece for that, but I have been looking for one of these, and I'll pop in a picture of why. I saw this inspiration probably on Etsy eons ago and just pinned it in my bonnet because I loved it. And so I have been looking for, this is basically a photo frame and it's a tree. Sorry, I'm showing it. I should have something to put in front of it. I'm sitting here looking for a piece of fabric and we've got fabric everywhere. Let me see if I can do this. You guys are gonna laugh at me. This is what happens when you're not 100% prepared. Okay. Here we go. So it's a tree and it's a photo frame and it's gonna look so cute with cross stitch schmaltz on it. And I'm probably gonna hang it on a door somewhere, I think. So I have been looking for that for like eons and I finally found it at Hobby Lobby. I also picked up this cute little frame because all of their fall stuff was like 80% off, 60% off. I don't remember, but it was a lot. And this is a cute little pumpkin frame with the 4x6 opening. I'm looking around thinking, surely there was more haul, but I really don't think there was. I think a lot of the haul that I ordered this month, I ended up stitching with, so that's awesome. And I probably, unless I get gifts in December, I'm probably gonna really try not to buy haul because it's time to buy gifts for other people. Okay, so what else? I had one more person that I wanted to tell you about who has a new shop. She's actually, it's not a new shop. She's been making things for a while. I bought this. It is a name tag, a name badge. I love this thing. I bought this at Stitch West when I first met her. Her business is called Stitches by Cheryl, and look how cute this tula pink fabric is. So I love this because it has this mesh pocket on the back, which you can put your phone in, and then you've got your name badge, and then there's a place for like money or your room card or whatever. Oh, there's some money in here. How exciting is that? So you can just keep like all the things and you don't feel like you have to carry like a purse around. Look at all these name tags I've been collecting from different retreats, but this is so perfect. And I love it so much. And she just recently started selling these on Instagram. So go check out Stitches by Cheryl. Like I said, I met her at Stitch West, and I'll put a link to her Instagram page where she's selling these on Instagram now as well. So it's not just these. She also makes project bags, all kinds of adorable hand-sewn things. And I will tell you, after starting to make my own project bags, sometimes I feel like the value that people put on their handmade things, I'm like, whoa, that's really a good bargain considering how much time it took me and effort to make my own project bag. So maybe you don't sew. Maybe you don't have a sewing machine. And so go support a local small shop, Stitches by Cheryl, and pick up something for yourself, or put it on your Christmas wish list if you're not buying things for yourself, like I just said I was trying not to do. What else? What else? I'm always saying that. Do you guys remember that little boy? I don't remember if that was on, I don't know. Who knows? There's so many different places to watch reels, but this cute little boy, I feel like it was on Facebook, but he was really adorable with his little southern accent. What else? What else? Just making a shopping list. I love that kid. Other mentions, I told you, I'll pop below down in the comments so that you guys can go and find and support local shops as well. I always put all those notes in there. As far as plans go, I think we're to that portion of the program. I am planning to start stitching Christmas things. So I showed you the 2 Emily Call pieces. I'm thinking about maybe putting together a video of like a kit parade video, but of the things that I've already started that are whips from last year or earlier this year, or let me grab the bags. Or these projects. I am going to, oh goodness, popping in a picture because I have a working copy of all my charts from Little House Needleworks. This is Christmas, Farmhouse Christmas. And I am stitching mine in a long row like a village. So, and I'm stitching it on raw linen. And this is my progress so far. So I think I've gotten 2 squares totally finished, and I've almost finished that 3rd one. When I say squares, they're patterns. So I'm stitching 8 of the 9 of the series. Eliminating that because it's normally in like a 9 patch and the quilt square is in the center, but I'm not doing that since I'm doing it as a village. So I work on that. I'm going to work on my Christmas rules from Lizzie Kate. I've made some good progress on this last year. I was stitching this during Jingle Ball, which is coming up next weekend. And so I want to work on that some more. And I definitely know I want to stitch some more of these ornaments. The Prairie Schooler Barnyard Christmas ornament series. And I'm not sure which one I'm going to do next, but I did last year finish this cow. I think I also stitched that during Jingle Ball. Haven't fully finished it. I need to do something fun to the back of this. Maybe put a piece of fabric on the back. I was playing around with these hoops. These are from I can't remember what the brand of this is. I'll have to pop it in. But I ordered some of these to see how I liked the size and if I liked the contrast of the hoop finish. It was just a kind of like a faux wood material. It's really cool. And it's already got a little hook on it for hanging on a tree. So I just thought it would be, you know, an easier FFO as far as an ornament goes. Not quite as much sewing as some of the other rounds. So it's Santa time. Ho, ho, ho. Love those. It's fun to get out stuff that you haven't had out in a while. Stuff you forget. It's like opening a gift all over again. So I definitely know I'm going to stitch on those. Obviously my Prairie Schooler Santa. I'm going to put some more stitches on Peace and Goodwill. I had a maybe question mark for Leela's Studio, the Christmas Quaker. But I'm probably gonna finish Peace and Goodwill first because it already has that Quaker vibe. So that'll probably save until next year. So I think that's all for now. I had said, maybe I would get back for a mid-month check-in, and I knew with the holidays and like all my other extra fun outings that might not happen. And it didn't, but maybe in 2025, I'll put that on the calendar and just make it a thing. For now, I'm going to say I will see you back at the end of December to show you my December stitching. And I hope that you all have enjoyed the video and that you will like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for coming back again and again. And I'll see you later.